In a surprising turn of events, Bassirou Diomaye Faye, a former tax inspector, rose from humble beginnings to become the president of Senegal within a mere 10 days. However, questions arise about how someone recently released from prison could ascend to the nation's highest office. On March 14th, just days before the election, Faye and his political ally, Usman Sanko, were released from prison. This raises curiosity about the reasons behind his imprisonment and how it relates to his current position as president. Bassirou Diomaye Faye's journey from incarceration to the presidential spotlight is a remarkable tale. Hailing from a modest rural background, Faye always harbored aspirations for change and progress in Senegal. Even in his early years, he exhibited leadership qualities and a strong commitment to social justice. Faye's political trajectory was significantly influenced by his close association with Usman Sanko, a charismatic opposition leader known for his vocal criticism of the government and advocacy for reform. Faye and Sanko shared a common vision for a fairer and more just Senegal, and their partnership played a pivotal role in advancing their political goals. Their friendship was so profound that Faye named one of his sons after Usman Sanko, highlighting the depth of their bond. Throughout their political activism, both Faye and Sanko faced numerous challenges, including imprisonment on charges related to their opposition activities. Bassirou Diomaye Faye found himself behind bars due to his involvement with Sanko and their opposition movement against the government. In April of the preceding year, Faye was charged with multiple offenses, including contempt of court, following the broadcast of a critical message targeting the judiciary in legal cases involving Sanko. The circumstances surrounding Faye's imprisonment and subsequent rise to the presidency raise intriguing questions about the dynamics of power, the will of the people, and the complexities of Senegal's political landscape. As Faye assumes leadership, his journey from prisoner to president serves as an inspirational story that resonates with many, leaving us to ponder the remarkable twists and turns that shape the course of a nation's history. The circumstances surrounding Bassirou Diomaye Faye's imprisonment suggest that it was a result of his involvement in political activism and his outspoken opposition to the government, rather than engaging in unrelated criminal activities. Despite facing numerous challenges and persecution, Faye remained resolute in his commitment to their shared cause, demonstrating remarkable resilience and bravery. After their release from prison, Usman Sanko, recognizing Faye's leadership qualities and potential for effecting positive change, endorsed him as his successor. Sanko's endorsement bestowed credibility and legitimacy upon Faye's candidacy, thrusting him into the national spotlight as a contender for the presidency. Faye embarked on a whirlwind campaign alongside Sanko, traversing the country and garnering support from fervent crowds, articulating his vision for a rejuvenated Senegal. Central to Faye's campaign platform were left-wing Pan-Africanism, economic reform, and social justice, striking a chord with many Senegalese who yearned for substantial transformation and a departure from the status quo. In our subsequent discussion, we will delve into the specifics of his campaign, shedding light on the factors that contributed to his victory. Despite facing skepticism and opposition from political rivals, Bassirou Diomaye Faye's candidacy gained momentum, ultimately culminating in his triumph in the presidential election. His ascent to the presidency represents a shift in Senegal's political landscape, signaling a generational change and instilling hope for a brighter future under his leadership. The significance of his alliance with Usman Sanko cannot be overstated. Faye's association with Sanko, a prominent figure in the opposition, highlights the growing discontent with the established political order in Senegal. Sanko's vocal criticism of the government has resonated with a disillusioned population that perceives the ruling regime as corrupt and disconnected from the needs of the people. At the age of 44, Faye represents a younger generation of leaders who aspire to challenge the prevailing norms and tackle urgent social and economic issues. His candidacy strikes a chord with many young Senegalese who seek fresh perspectives and innovative solutions to the country's challenges. Faye's grassroots support, particularly among marginalized communities and urban youth, underscores the admiration for his ideologies. The enthusiastic crowds and resounding chants of solidarity at his campaign rallies exemplify the power of ordinary citizens to drive political change from the grassroots level. Bassirou Diomaye Faye's candidacy posed a significant challenge to the incumbent regime led by President Macky Sall. By aligning himself with Sanko and capitalizing on widespread discontent, Faye represents a formidable opposition force capable of challenging the ruling party's dominance and ushering in a new era of governance in Senegal. One pressing question arises: how did the relationship between Bassirou Diomaye Faye and Usman Sanko shape their political journeys, especially during trying times like imprisonment? Throughout their political careers, Usman Sanko acted as a mentor and advisor to Faye, offering valuable guidance, support, and strategic direction. Sanko's extensive experience and leadership served as a beacon for Faye, helping him navigate the intricate landscape of Senegalese politics. Their bond grew stronger during periods of adversity, when both Faye and Sanko faced imprisonment due to their political activities. The shared experience of being incarcerated forged a profound sense of solidarity and camaraderie between them. Emotionally and politically, they supported one another through challenging circumstances. Sanko's endorsement of Faye as his successor solidified their partnership and ensured the continuity of their political movement. By entrusting Faye with the responsibility, Sanko demonstrated his belief in Faye's leadership abilities, providing legitimacy to Faye's candidacy and elevating his position within the opposition movement. Faye and Sanko strategically collaborated on various political initiatives and campaigns, leveraging their respective strengths and resources to advance their shared objectives. Whether it was organizing protests, mobilizing supporters, or proposing policies, their collaborative efforts amplified their influence and visibility on the political stage. The relationship between Faye and Sanko served as a source of inspiration for their supporters and followers. Many admired their unity, resilience, and unwavering dedication to their cause. Despite facing persecution and imprisonment, Faye and Sanko's steadfast partnership instilled hope and encouragement among those fighting for democracy, justice, and social change in Senegal. Now, let's delve into Faye's campaign and how he managed to garner support within a mere 10 days. Faye resonated with the people by promising the change they desired from a leader. He pledged to implement economic reforms aimed at achieving a more equitable distribution of wealth and reducing inequality. His proposals included measures to support small businesses, create job opportunities, and prioritize the well-being of marginalized communities. Faye also committed to renegotiating contracts in vital sectors like oil and fishing, intending to secure fairer terms for Senegal and its citizens. In the face of existing agreements that he criticized as exploitative, Bassirou Diomaye Faye made a bold promise to prioritize national interests in future negotiations. He called for comprehensive reform of Senegal's justice system, which he perceived as corrupt and biased. Faye pledged to address critical issues like judicial independence, accountability, and access to justice, aiming to ensure fair treatment for all citizens. One of his most controversial proposals involved the potential introduction of a new national currency to replace the CFA franc. The reception of Faye's policy proposals varied across different segments of the Senegalese population. The majority saw his promises of change and reform as refreshing and necessary to tackle long-standing problems of inequality and injustice. They embraced his progressive agenda and viewed him as a symbol of hope for a better future. Nonetheless, Faye encountered significant obstacles along his path. Senegal's economy grapples with various challenges, including high unemployment, income inequality, and dependence on volatile industries like agriculture and fishing. Critics might question Faye's ability to deliver on his economic reform promises, particularly in the face of external pressures and global economic uncertainties. However, proponents argue that Faye can address these economic challenges by prioritizing job creation, investing in infrastructure, and diversifying the economy. By implementing targeted policies to stimulate growth, reduce poverty, and empower small businesses, Faye can demonstrate his commitment to improving the lives of ordinary citizens and fostering sustainable development. Another significant obstacle lies within the judiciary. Many perceive Senegal's legal system as corrupt, inefficient, and susceptible to political influence. Faye's proposals for judicial reform, including measures to enhance transparency, independence, and accountability, may encounter resistance from entrenched interests within the legal establishment. To overcome these obstacles, Faye can engage with legal experts, civil society organizations, and international partners to develop comprehensive strategies for judicial reform. By promoting dialogue, consensus building, and public engagement, Faye can generate momentum for change and mobilize support for his reform agenda. As president, Faye intends to bring about significant changes in Senegal. He places great emphasis on inclusive governance that represents the interests of all Senegalese citizens, regardless of their background, ethnicity, or political affiliation. He pledges to govern with fairness, transparency, and accountability, ensuring that every voice is valued and respected in the decision-making process. Moreover, Faye prioritizes initiatives aimed at enhancing social cohesion and fostering harmony among the diverse communities across Senegal. Recognizing the richness of Senegal's cultural heritage, he aims to celebrate and preserve it while bridging divides and promoting mutual understanding among different ethnic, religious, and linguistic groups. Faye strongly advocates for peaceful coexistence and dialogue as crucial components for resolving conflicts and establishing lasting peace in Senegal. He condemns violence, extremism, and intolerance in all forms, advocating for nonviolent means of conflict resolution and fostering reconciliation. Furthermore, Faye acknowledges the significance of investing in education and healthcare as fundamental pillars of human development and national progress. He places priority on initiatives that improve access to quality education, healthcare services, and social welfare programs, particularly in rural and underserved areas. These commitments indicate positive changes for the better in Senegal, where the interests of the people and democracy prevail. The question remains, is Senegal ready for a new beginning? Share your hopes and thoughts on Faye's leadership in the comments section below. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more insightful content.